If you were to boil down my 25-year-plus career to one word, it would be advocacy. I've been advocating for children from the start. My work on Capitol Hill, to working for Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's about looking after our children, our next generation. I worked for Sesame Street, representing them before government. We did a lot through USAID to bring out to the world what we call Muppet diplomacy, promoting peace and breaking down racial, ethnic, and religious barriers through children, because that's how we're going to change the world. I grew up in New York City. I was born in Rockaway Beach, Queens, spent my formative years in Brooklyn, New York. It was not easy. By the time I was 12 years old, I had moved 14 times. My parents were young. My mom was 19 when she had me, and my dad was 21, and he was just out of Vietnam. Fought in one of the deadliest battles in Vietnam, Khe Sanh, from 1968 to 69. My dad didn't talk about his experience. But we knew that there was tension, and I like to say it's what made me hyper-vigilant today. He instilled that in us. We had our struggles. Often my dad was out of work, so I took on a lot of responsibility, particularly when we moved in with my father, and he was a single parent. So I would do the family shopping, and I remember I didn't want anyone to see that I use food stamps. When I am legislating and all the decisions that I make, I go back to that and I think about those experiences. Family is everything to me. My 23-year marriage to my husband, we've actually been together for over 30 years because we met in college. That means a lot to me as a child of divorce. There are going to be times where you disagree, but that's what family's for. It gives you that opportunity to explore who you are and what makes you special and unique in the safest possible way. When I'm making decisions in Trenton, I'm thinking about those kids and families that don't always have that strong foundation. The highest compliment for me is when I hear people tell me, or when you're in Trenton, we know we're in Trenton with you. That's how I want to be remembered, that I always stopped and thought about my constituents, and they had proper representation, and I never put party over people. Humanitarian purposes, they have no party. They have no party affiliation. I was prepared to see extreme polarization in the State House. But you know what? I know that being raised by a Marine, being surrounded by New York Police Department uncles definitely made me strong, made me tough. They taught me how to question things and how to be a good judge of character. And wow, does that help me in the State House today. But as they say, there's no growth without discomfort. Being sworn in on November 25th by the Speaker on the floor of the State House, it was really quite a remarkable day. I stood on the floor, took my oath with my family beside me, then walked over to my seat, sat down and began to vote. I thought, this is so exciting because this is democracy in action. And no matter what side you were on in the issue, to see that level of people engaged, I couldn't be more grateful. And anything else that comes my way, I consider extra.